Alright, I advise you watch the other two videos first. Today we're going to be talking about uh, defending open space and how to get possession back. Now, in this kind of situation, getting possession back, defending open space, there's so many different ways to do it, and there's entire strategies dependent on the specific thing defending open space, such as mirroring. Mirroring is its own little thing um, that basically has you never challenge and just purely covering what the physics can offer. And I'll teach you some mirroring today. It's very good to have this uh, as muscle memory in your game anyway, because even if you're not defending a specific 1v1, it's still very, very important to match the momentum of the play. Okay, that's what I'm going to be teaching you today. I'm going to be teaching you a little bit of mirroring, but I'm going to throw in some other things as well when you can challenge and things like that. All right, so first of all, why did I make this guy freaking white? All right, let's make a ball. Okay, so the biggest thing with the mirroring is you need to match the pace of the other player. Okay, so if this guy is driving at 2 miles an hour, how fast should you be moving? 2 miles an hour. I don't care how fast the ball's moving. Okay, you're not matching the pace of the ball. If the ball is moving 5 miles an hour, I don't care. You're matching the pace of the player. The player's moving 2 miles an hour, so you should be moving 2 miles an hour. If this guy is moving at supersonic, you should be moving at supersonic. You understand? Simple enough, right? Obviously, you need to watch your opponent when you're doing this, which makes it a little more difficult. But you need to be matching the speed of your opponent. Next, you need to make sure that you are far enough or close enough to the plate, depending on the speed. If this guy is moving at supersonic, you should be moving at supersonic, but also further away. And if he slows down, then you slow down as well and start getting a little closer. And as he speeds up, you speed up and start going a little further away. You understand? Not too difficult, right? And the reason we're doing this is because if you're at supersonic speed, you're going to be able to flick the ball a lot faster than if you were driving at 2 miles an hour, right? So you're going to need to not only be faster, but also be further away. Now, the last part of mirroring is you need to be the opposite side of the car. So if the car is directly on the side of the ball, you should be directly on the side of the ball. If this guy, I wish I could rotate. I don't know how to rotate. Imagine this guy is looking this way, 45 degrees. You should be 45 degrees. Right? I don't care if your net's over here. This guy's not able to hit the ball to your net. You should be on the opposite side. Understand? If the opponent is here, you should be here. If the opponent is here, you should be here. If the opponent is here, you should be here. You understand? Obviously, your nose is pointing this way. And you should be making sure that your nose is pointing the opposite direction as well. So, imagine this guy is pointing. Actually, no, we can just say he's facing this direction, right? He's just driving this way, but the ball's on the side of his car. Where can he hit this ball? He can hit the ball this way, okay? So you need to be this way. You also need to have your nose facing the direction of where he can hit the ball. So he can hit the ball this way. So your nose need to be facing this way. You need to be facing this way, right? This is the direction that your nose and your car should be facing. Okay? If he's on this side, you should be here, and your nose should be facing this way. We understand? That's the direction that your car should be facing. Basically, to make it a little simpler, to make it more understandable, you should be in a position where if he flicks the ball, all you need to do is double jump and boost upwards, and you will make a save. So you could have gold mechanics and make a save. That's the position that you want to be in, okay? So you make sure that you're always in the right position, that you're always facing the right direction, okay? It's not just about your position, you also need to be facing the right direction. Because, let's say, he's like this, and your car is facing this way. When he hits the ball, he's going to be hitting the ball. He's going to be hitting the ball this way, right? So you should be on that line with your car. Obviously, in this position, you are on that line, but your car should also be facing on this line as well. It should be facing this direction. Okay, it should not be facing this direction like how the car currently is. Okay, because when he hits this ball, can you double jump and save it? If you double jump and start boosting, you're gonna fly like this way and up, right? You're just not gonna hit the ball. Okay, but if you're on this line, all you need to do is double jump and boost, and you're gonna be flying like this, and you're gonna hit the ball. Okay, that's how you should be imagining your positioning in shadowing, in mirroring. Okay, that's how you should be obviously, that's not what you should do to save the ball, but that's the position that you should be in. Okay? So if he's flicking the ball at you, oh, it's a mess now. It's a mess with all these push. So if he's flicking the ball, he's here, and he's flicking the ball at your net, you need to be in the position where you can just double jump and boost to save it, and be, ooh, I got it. But you don't need to double jump and save it. Obviously, the end goal is to keep possession, so you should be trying to hit it to a place where you can get possession, where you can get open space. So if he flicks the ball forward, his momentum is going to be carrying him into the net. Okay. But if you're able, I mean, in this position, it'd probably be a good idea just to double jump and hit it against your backboard, then recover with the squishy, go in your net, flow through. You're gonna have a lot of momentum, and you're gonna get possession at the end of it because he's going into the net. He's further behind the play than you are. You're in front of the play. You understand? Now, this is very. It's going to take a lot of practice to actually get this down in game, but that is the idea behind it. Also, this is very. You should be doing this exact same thing in 2s and 3s with the entire play. Okay, so let's say there's an opponent here. I'll ignore me for a second. Let's say there's an opponent here, and let's say there's an opponent here. Sure. Oh, I didn't mean to make that. Okay. Let's say this is the case. And they're driving down the pitch, right? They're moving the ball down. He's up the sidewall. He's in the air. He's flying over, and this guy's trying to be there in mid for him. This guy just got his boost, so he's rotating it. Where should you be? Well, you should be on the opposite side of the ball. So in this position, you should be in direct opposite side of the ball, right? Obviously, depending on his speed, is how far you're going to be. Obviously, you and this player will crash in this specific position because this guy is also mirroring. He's also doing what you should be doing on offense when your teammate has the ball. Right? He is on the opposite side with open space. That's what he's trying to do. That's what you should also be trying to do. You should be trying to be this player when your teammate has the ball. But when you're defending, you should be here, depending on the speed, and facing, right? You should be facing the direction that he can hit the ball. So he can hit the ball this way. Okay? So actually, my mirroring was off. My mirroring was actually off. You should actually be here. And you should be facing the direction of this blue line. Okay? My mirroring is actually out there. I apologize. Right? And depending on the speed depending on how fast the play is moving should be dependent on how far away or how close you are. And you should be matching the speed of the player, right? You should not be trying to move faster than the player. You should not be trying to move slower than the player. You should be moving the same speed as the player with the ball. Okay? Now, this also applies with your teammates, as I mentioned. This guy. You should be doing what this guy is doing. So imagine you're not on the red team. Imagine you're on this team. Okay? You should be doing this exact same thing. You should be in open space where your opponent gets the ball. Now, you shouldn't be here. Okay? You should not be here because what are you gonna do from this position? When he hits the ball to you, what do you do? Like what is your play? Like what can you do with the ball in this position? Like maybe skim or redirect or pass it? That's it? But your teammate could just pass it anyway. So he doesn't even need you in that position to do that. So it's like, I mean, I guess maybe if he wants to hit the ball to you and then you hit it back to your teammate, I guess that could work. But like you just don't need to be in that position. You need to be in a position where you can get possession, where your teammate can hit the ball to. As second man. As third man, this guy should be covering the dunk. That's what he should be doing. And obviously, if there's not a dunk that's going to happen, he shouldn't be covering the dunk. He should be covering more open space or where the ball's probably going to go. Where the second man is not covering. Understand? And obviously, in 2v2, the second man is going to have to choose between kind of this position. Is going to kind of end up being like a mixture of the two. You kind of be in this position. Right? And depending on the position, that's going to depend if you should play more like this third man position or more like a second man position in 2v2. But in 3v3, a little bit simpler. You don't have to worry about it. Second man, you should be covering where your teammate can hit the ball, can pass the ball. If your opponent or if your teammate can't do anything, can't outplay, like he doesn't actually have possession, his neutral possession, he's just driving behind the ball. As second man, it depends on the play style of your team, more than anything. But one of these teammates should be in the right position to get this 50. So this guy should be here. Because when they 50 this ball, this teammate, assuming he understands how to keep possession, is going to go to this side of the ball and trying to 50 at mid to this other teammate. Right? This teammate is not going to try, in this position, this teammate should not try to kill the ball. Should not try to 50 it right. Should not try to lose the 50. He should try to 50 it to the left because that's where this teammate is. If this teammate was on his ass like this, then this guy should try to kill the 50. Because if he kills the 50, this guy is going to already be there, right? You should always be trying to 50 it to your teammates. Team-wide possession is important. Okay, let me delete everything, and I will explain some of the nuances of where you do not where you do not mirror and when you shouldn't mirror, or when you're allowed not to, I should say, because you can always mirror. You can always mirror. Okay. Let's get a ball. Okay. Now, usually in a position where it's 2 versus 1 situation, remember, this is very important. The point of challenges is to dispossess their team and to get possession yourself. The point is not to dispossess one player, right? Because let me get a white guy as well. Okay. Now, that sounded weird, but whatever. What, the red and white guys? Alright, so if you challenge this ball and you dunk this ball and this ball goes back to this teammate, good job. You dispossessed one player and you gave it right back. You did not dispossess the team. Okay? This was a terrible challenge if that's what you did. What the fuck? Alright. So that'd be a terrible challenge. Even though you dispossessed this one guy, you just gave it right back to him. Okay? So a challenge in this position should be getting this ball coming to the left side of the ball so you can 50 it here to your teammate. Right? When you're challenging someone, you should either be trying to get to the ball to empty space or to open space, not lost space. This is lost space right here. This whole area is lost space. This is empty space. This is empty space. This is open space. This is empty space. Pretty sure this is empty space as well. Okay? So when you 50, you should be trying to hit it to this empty space. If you hit it here, this is all lost space. This is all lost space. You should not be trying to hit this to the side. You should be trying to hit this side when you challenge. Okay? You're trying to dispossess their team, not the player. So, in some situations, people will, like for example, if this guy's air dribbling, he's air dribbling towards your net, and one guy challenges, and he gets absolutely crushed on the 50. Like he sees the 50, he tries to 50 the ball, and this guy destroys him on the 50, and the ball pinches to the backboard where this teammate is. Was that a bad or good challenge? Now, a lot of players, if you're this player, will say, shit, that was such a bad challenge. I'm so lucky my teammate was there. No, that was a perfect challenge, right? Because you dispossessed their team. The ball went to your team, and now your team has possession. If you get that kind of challenge. So dunks are not always bad. It depends on where the dunk goes. And if you can control the dunk, that's even better. So like if you're challenging and you're trying to just drive through and get dunked, so imagine your teammate is in your back corner, and you're just, how are you going to get this ball to your teammate, right? Because if you hit it here, this is empty space. This guy's, you're probably not going to be able to catch back up to this ball if you hit it here. This guy's probably going to get there. Or this guy's going to probably get there because they're closer to the side of the field because you're going to the side of the field to try to 50 to this side. So if you just hit it here, you're just hitting to open space, which is fine, but a better play, if you can do it, would just be to drive into this and force a dunk pinch to this back corner straight to your teammate. I know it sounds crazy. It's like you try your entire game life to not get dunked. But if you can control it and get possession. It's a fantastic challenge. Obviously, it's risky though, and you would need to actually be able to control it for it to be good. But just letting you know. Also, so obviously you're probably thinking, where does mirroring and this challenge game come into play? Well, again, it depends on the situation. It's going to come with the reps of where you should be mirroring or where you should be challenging, and it's kind of hard for me to give you an uh, of all be all answer for when you should mirror versus when you should do a challenge like this. But you should be trying to generally think if your team can get possession off of it. So if you don't feel comfortable, like if you can't control the dunk, right, which obviously you're probably not going to be able to do. I don't think anyone's mastered getting dunked. It's not something you really practice. But so like here, like your only challenge. So imagine you're rotating back, and you're trying to dispossess this guy, right? So you could just go for a demo on him. But imagine you can't get a demo, and you're kind of stuck here where you can't do anything, and your teammate is not ready. He's also rotating back, or I imagine he's like here, right? He's not ready for you to dispossess this guy, because if you dispossess this guy, it's not going to go here. It's not going to go to where your teammate is, right? You're not going to be able to control that from this position. I mean, if you can, that's great. Then you should do that. But you're probably not going to be able to. You're probably not going to be able to. You're probably not going to be able to do that. So you should be waiting and mirroring until your team gets into a position where you can get the ball to them. So let's say your teammate is able to get over here. Then you should be challenging him and trying to get the ball to go here, right? Because you're both covering this side of the ball, it's probably 50 here, right? That's when you should be challenging when it gets here. In a 1v2 situation, a lot of time, I mean, unless you're playing SSLs, these guys aren't going to be the greatest. And they are going to just release the ball, especially like in a 1v2, or especially in a 2v2 game or a 3v3 game. If one player gets a 1v1, they're probably going to flick it from like here. They're not going to get close to the play and like make you. They're not going to really create open space. They're just going to flick it because they're going to just try to score because they don't want that. They get nervous. So if you just mirror them all the way, they're probably just going to flick it and they're just going to get a save. But I'm not telling you to always mirror in those kind of 1v1 situations. It's going to come down to whatever the position is, how you feel. And you can't really blame yourself for getting scored on in a 1v2 anyway, or in a 1v1 anyway, because you shouldn't be in this position. Your teammate should not be here. Your teammate should be somewhere back here where you can get the ball to. You should be getting the ball to your teammate here. Obviously, it's the same with you. You should never be out of the play like this, right? You cannot blame your teammate if they get scored on a 1v1 here because you're in Narnia. It is not your teammate's fault if you're in Narnia and they get scored on a 1v1 or in a 1v2. Okay, that's on you. You need to be an option for your teammate to dispossess the opponents and give you possession. Okay? Alright. Now, everything I've mentioned so far, these are different like strategies of how to dispossess people. And something I would heavily recommend is drive challenges, especially in 1v1. I mean, in any kind of situation, just driving into the play, just supersonic speed into the play, because it forces your opponent to choose one of their options and execute one of their options. And a lot of the time, these players don't really think about outplaying someone to themselves. So they're not going to think about soft flick to myself over here, and then and I can get it again. They're not thinking that. They're thinking, oh, this guy's challenging me. I just need to outplay this one guy. So they'll just flick it, and then your teammate gets it. So drive challenges are super useful. Drive challenges are also super useful because even if this guy does get a soft flick here, you're not committed. You're still going to be able to turn and challenge him again anyway. And even if he does soft flick the ball, you might be able to catch him on a demo. So, it might be able to drive through and just get a demo. So, drive challenges, super useful for getting possession back. Something I would heavily recommend. But, again, there's so many different ways to do this. There's so many different ways to get possession. I've given you a very solid way that'll get you to SSL. But there are obviously more nuances. There are different ways to do it, just like there's more ways and different ways to create open space and take the ball to open space. There's so many different ways to do it, and it's going to come down to your creativity. It's going to come down to how good you are in certain situations, how good you are in certain positions. But what I've given you will get you up to SSL.